Good morning, my fellow yogic travelers. I'm mighty glad to be alive today, and I hope that you are too, as we continue to live, laugh, love, learn, linger, live the life we love. Well, I got my old salt on my chest here, just to remind you, we're all going to get blown off course every now and then, but if you find your center, you'll be able to handle the storms. Calm seas don't make a good sailor. So, what are we doing today? Oh, it's story day. It's Thursday. The Three Feathers. It's a Grimm's tale. I love some of the images in this. Hope you can figure them out. It's fun trying. Once there was a king who had three sons. Two of them were like supposedly intelligent and clever, and one was kind of not so swift. So they called him Simpleton. Anyway, the king decided that we have to see who's going to be worthy to take over the kingdom when I pass. So he said, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take these three feathers, I'm going to throw them into the air, and you go as the feathers go, and whoever can bring back to me the most beautiful carpet in the world, you will inherit the kingdom. Well, the two brothers, their feathers flew far to the east and far to the west, where Simpleton's feather fell right down in front of him on the feet. So the two brothers laughed and said, great, he can't get anything just staying right there. And they went off to get their carpet. So what happened was Simpleton looked down and said, oh my God, this is where the feathers, but he noticed there was a trap door there. So he pulled the trap door open and he walked down the stairs. And believe it or not, there was a fat toad sitting on a toadstool saying, maiden green and small, hopping toad, hopping to and fro. Quickly see who's outside. And so he got entrance into the big toad. And he says, what are you looking for? He says, I need the most beautiful carpet in the world. He says, no problem that. And he gave him a carpet that was so well made, nothing like that existed in the world above. Meanwhile, the two brothers, they just grabbed the first two pieces of coarse material that they found. They brought it back to the king. And the king said, oh, well, the Simpleton, definitely, he's going to be the king. He said, no, no, no. The two brothers completely said, we can't do that. We have to have another contest. All right, what about this? King said, bring the beautiful ring, the most beautiful ring you can find. Threw the three feathers again, went to the north, went to the south. Simpleton's feather fell right down in front of his face. So he picked it up, picked up the trapdoor, went down again. There was the big toad again, saying, maiden green and small, hopping to and fro. What do you want now? Well, I need the most beautiful ring in the world. So the big toad said to the other toads, bring me the box. And they brought him a box, and he took out a ring that was so beautifully crafted, no goldsmith in the world above could have set the gems in this. So he brought it back, whereas the two brothers, they just grabbed the first old iron ring they found on an old dilapidated wagon. They brought it back. The king declared once again, Simpleton, he's definitely going to be the king. Oh, they deafened the king's ears. They said, it can't be, it can't be. We have to do one more. He's too stupid to do. All right, fine. So once again, they did the feathers. Two of them went to distances, and of course, Simpleton's feather just fell right at his feet. Once again, he descended. What do you need this time? Said the big toad. I need the most beautiful woman in the world. So the big toad said, take this hollowed out turnip, take these six mice, put them together, and as soon as you go up, it's going to transform into a coach and horses. And he says, well, what about the woman? He says, take one of the little toads and put it in there. So that's what he did. But as soon as he got up into the upper world, she transformed into the most beautiful woman ever. Whereas the two brothers, they found the first peasant women they could find. They brought them back. King said, oh, come on, this is it. Finally, can't you see he's going to be the king? And they said, listen, one more test, one more test. He says, what is that? Well, they said they created a burning hoop in the middle of the audience hall. And they said, whichever woman can jump through the burning hoop and not hurt herself, she will definitely be the winner, and then we'll decide who's king. So they said, fine. So the two brothers asked their two peasant women to do it, but they were like thick, chunky. And so when they tried to jump through the hoop, they fell down and broke their legs and arms. Where the beautiful woman that Simpleton brought, who was formerly a toad, she jumped through the hoop with elegance and grace as light as a deer. And then there was no more contest. And so he became king and ruled wisely for many, many years. The three feathers. Anyway, I love those two motifs, descending to find something in the other world that helps you, and also that you don't have to go far and wide. Sometimes it's right there in front of you. You'll find the descent into the other world. All right, today I just want to talk a little bit about teachings of Matthew Fox, and tomorrow I'll explicate even more on the four paths of creation spirituality. But the first thing I want to talk about is how to see the divine in all things. Well, the first thing you realize is there's a pattern that connects and insists on interconnectivity. Uh, and that's when you refer to everything as being sacred, because you see the divine one in all things. And it's an invitation to cosmic awakening. No, you know what I say, no cosmos, no apple pie. The simplest thing we have, you have to have the whole universe in order for it to evolve to that. So the power of the human mind to experience this is the common glue that holds us together and enables you to live a life which is spiritual and not superficial. And it's a crucial insight that you have to have if you're going to live a life of depth and understand that spirituality is about a constant renewal. And what you renew is your realization of your relationship to everything. Like Christ said, I am the vine and ye the branches. Without me, you can do nothing. We're all connected. So it's about this core relationship and how to make things new on an ongoing basis. Spirituality doesn't make you otherworldly, but it makes you fully alive. And I'm not a big fan of the aspect of any dominant religion that uses sin or guilt in any way to try to motivate you to believe their tradition. So this is the original blessing. It's not anthropomorphic, it's cosmological. Before the sin, the fall in the garden, supposedly, God said creation is very, very good. So God doesn't mince words. It must be really good. We got to find out what that means. And although science, not true science, but applied science, is a lackey of the state, um, we're still suffering from the old Newtonian and Cartesian idea that the world is a kind of machine. And that kind of thinking, mechanistic thinking, shows up in our educational systems, in our politics, our economics, and certainly even in our worship systems. And the problem of religious calamity in our day and age is the mechanizing of worship. There's so much concept, so much liturgy, so much reading words. And if worship is mostly about reading, that means you stay in your head. It's in the neck up. But the heart is not in the head, it's in the body. And compassion, which comes from your guts, is also not in your head, it's in your stomach. So, what we need to do is learn to awaken the body so that the heart and the gut can come alive and allow you to see the interconnections that you feel, the compassion for everybody. And the ultimate is we're starved in our country for rituals that both teach us how to celebrate and teach us how to grieve. And so it's no wonder that we feel lost and don't know how to appropriately act when the vicissitudes of life demand of us that we celebrate the awe and mystery, at the same time, the sobering quality of realizing what happens in the nightmare of history and how the unregenerate humanity hasn't learned yet to move from a primitive place into the evolutionary possibility that we all have within us.